Good evening, you're watching PBS English News. I'm Veronica Lim. 2 years ago, a concrete truck had lost control and smashed into 22 cars and scooters, resulting in 4 deaths and 8 injuries. Following investigation, it was discovered that the owner had bribed a vehicle inspection agent to certify the vehicle, which didn't even have a handbrake. What's appalling is that this practice of false certification is widespread. The government therefore launched a nationwide search on October 30th, and prosecutors summoned 51 suspects and 11 witnesses for questioning. The Sunflower Movement in 2014 saw students forcing their way into Taiwan's legislative yuan, which led to escalated confrontations with the police. Former legislator Zhou Nian has since filed a lawsuit against Taipei City and its police department, demanding for a state compensation for the students who were injured during the clash. The Taipei District Court released its first instance judgment, which mandates that the Taipei City Police Department are to provide compensation to some of the plaintiffs. Now let's take an overview of some of the important stories from around the nation. National compensation was granted to Sunflower Student Movement protesters. Causeway Bay Books manager Long Wing-Ki said a comparison of this and Hong Kong's anti-extradition bill protests showed that the democratic rule of law in Hong Kong is regressing. Following the approval of the sale of 66 F-16V fighter jets to Taiwan from the U.S., Taiwan's executive yuan is scheduled to pass a special procurement budget for these jets on October 31st. The budget has been capped at $250 billion. Unpaid highway tolls owed to the government has been growing and has exceeded $800 million. The Freeway Bureau hence announced that owed amounts of under $20,000 can be paid at 4 large convenience store chains and Simple Mart retail starting in November. UNESCO World Heritage Site Shuri Castle in Japan's Okinawa Prefecture caught on fire during the early hours of October 31st. The main north and south buildings are destroyed and other structures were affected. Hundreds of firefighters were mobilized to battle the fire. Following the fire at the Shuri Castle, scholars in Taiwan has pointed out that many historical heritage sites in Taiwan are also at high risk of fire. They said many of these heritage sites are religious temples, and their staff members tend to not have adequate training on dealing with fire hazards. Finally, let's take a look at some of the important international news today. Just days after U.S. President Donald Trump announced the death of al-Baghdadi, the Pentagon released video of the raid showing the U.S. Special Forces operation which led to the death of the Islamic State group chief in detail. Chile withdrew as the host of an APEC summit in November, at which the United States and China had been expected to sign a deal to ease a trade war that has hurt the global economy as raging street protests gripped the country. The massive bushfire started over the weekend in a forest in New South Wales and Australia has since burnt down close to 5,000 acres of land. Conservationists believe hundreds of koalas may have died. Thank you for watching PBS English News. I'm Veronica Lim. See you next time.